NetSuite Auto Posting Rules Walkthrough. As an end user, picture yourself walking in the morning, ready to tackle your cash reconciliation. As you logged into NetSuite, you can see your updated cash dashboard, where all your balances have been automatically updated with your previous day activity. It also highlights how many unmatched items you have to review. Let's quickly access our one-step reconciliation window from our shortcut menu. As you can see, the default display for this window is to focus on remaining unmatched items, as we assume that with robust auto matching and auto posting rules, Nolan ABR has already automatically matched most of your banking activity while importing our previous day bank data. Before tackling those unmatched items, and for demo purposes, we're going to focus on our list of matched items. I'm going to start by sorting our matched item using our match ID. This will allow me to point out a very important feature of our tool. Instead of simply marking your GL transaction as being matched, Nolan ABR assigns a sequential, unique match ID between the GL items and the bank items that have been matched together. Why is that important? This is important for audit trail and reporting purposes. By keeping a historical record of all your reconciled GL and bank transactions, one can easily find at any point in time which GL transaction has been matched against which bank statement line. As an example, match ID 175 we can see that a batch of vendor payments was automatically matched against the consolidated ACH withdrawal debit on the bank side. Let's explore this a little further and drill back on one of the bill payments included in that batch. Every GL transaction now carries an ABR reconciliation state record that logs all of the reconciliation activity and details for this transaction. Let's drill further back to the original bill payment. On the bill payment itself, the added ABR subtab, anyone with access to this transaction can now see if and when it cleared the bank, with the corresponding match ID and additional reconciliation information. Should there be a need to view which items have been all matched together, one can revert back to the dashboard and the query portlet to query the match ID for the specific cash account and find out how this single vendor payment was incorporated into a batch of bill payments and matched to a consolidated amount on the bank side. This provides you with a complete 360 audit trail of all your reconciliation process. Let's now review some common matching scenarios that Nolan ABR can automatically match for you as opposed to a rather manual matching process in native NetSuite Bank Rec. First, Nolan can handle simple one-to-one matches like vendor checks based on one or multiple matching criteria such as date, transaction number, reference text, etc. What I also like to point out on this window is that Nolan ABR will automatically handle transaction voids as well. More complex and sophisticated scenario that can be handled by Nolan ABR includes auto-matching groups of transactions that have common batching criteria, which is what we're looking at here. As an example, we can automatically recognize a batch of vendor bill payments based on grouping criteria either contained in the memo or the transaction number field, group and add the items together, and find the corresponding consolidated amount on the bank side. Nolan ABR can easily handle many-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many scenarios. As an example, a grouping scenario on the bank side where our payroll transaction was split into two separate withdrawals, yet posted as one summary entry on the bank side. Our next scenario is about automatically addressing amount differences between transactions that are within an acceptable threshold or tolerance level that you defined. As an example, first example here, match ID 176, we've incorporated in our matching rule for vendor checks a tolerance level of $1, meaning that if a check clears the bank for a different amount, but all other matching criteria are met, Nolan ABR will automatically match and post the amount difference, the 1 cent in this example, based on the preset journal template, which we will take a look at in a minute. So there's no need with our tool to manually address what I like to call immaterial differences. Another common example is auto posting foreign exchange variance that results from the difference in the exchange rate used when posting the transaction in NetSuite and the exchange rate used by the bank. One can set an acceptable tolerance level for those transactions, usually as a percentage of the transaction, so these differences can automatically be posted within the preset tolerance level. Another great example that is not demonstrated here is the use of tolerance levels to auto-post what I call expected differences. This is the case when reconciling credit cards as an example, so that credit card or bank fees that are automatically deducted from your sales transactions are automatically posted to the GL for you. For those of you that are curious about how the corresponding matching rules for these scenarios are set up, let's explore this further together. Here is the set of auto matching rules for this account. Auto matching rules are most effective when bank transactions are categorized with something other than debits and credit as a bank statement line. You want to see something like a BAI code, or depending on the data you're reconciling, Nolan ABR will accept and recognize whatever transaction coding system your financial institution uses. So there's no need with our tool to map bank transaction types to a default set of bank transaction types, which is an extra setup requirement with NetSuite native bank rec. Now with Granular Bank Transaction Types, you can now create a sophisticated set of rules and even incorporate priority levels. For instance, even though vendor payments from a bank's perspective are all debit transactions, the matching criteria for vendor checks is most likely very different than matching criteria needed to match a group of ACH vendor payments. With assigned priority levels as well, matching rules are applied to your data in a logical order. This results in a much higher percentage of your data being automatically matched. We can see that one or multiple criteria can be combined for matching rules purposes. We can match based on transaction dates, document or check number, a reference or a description, or a combination of all three. Finally, amount tolerance, as mentioned before, can be incorporated to address amount differences. For those many-to-one or one-to-many scenarios we observed earlier, several NetSuite fields can be used to group individual transactions together and match to a consolidated amount. This grouping function is available on both sides. So NetSuite grouping fields can be used to group GL transactions, or a handful of statement grouping fields can be used on the bank side to group bank items. Finally, but not least, is our journal templates. These journal templates are where the preset posting definition rule is set up so that our rules that incorporate a tolerance have a preset posting definition for those differences. This concludes our auto matching rules walkthrough. For those interested in diving further into the actual setup of these matching rules and understanding better the subtle differences and capabilities of Nolan ABR compared to NetSuite's native bank rec, we invite you to watch our setup overview series.